Good evening, everyone. You're wondering why? Have you ever wondered why you're able to listen to people speak, be able to play sports if you do, be able to even play video games, be able to draw, be able to talk, be able to remember important things? The brain is wired. In a few moments, I will be discussing how the brain works, why is it important, and when it functions. So first, we have the frontal lobe, which is located at the front of the brain, as you can see on the screen, which is right where your forehead is at. That's exactly where it's located. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, this lobe is what allows us to have the ability to speak, the ability to have a sense of smell, and the ability to have a personality. This lobe is important because without it, you would not be able to speak, teachers would not be able to educate, we would not be able to communicate with each other. As a smell, we would not be able to enjoy that nature smell or that summer smell. As well as personality, we would not have one. This is important because it's very important to be able to speak, because I will not be able to discuss this presentation with you guys if I didn't have my frontal lobe or if it was damaged. Next, we have the parietal lobe, which is behind the frontal, as well as on the left, the right, and the middle part of the brain. According to simple psychology, this lobe is what allows us to be able to feel pain, touch, pressure, as well as temperature, and be able to read and do math. This lobe is important because without it, we will not be able to read, which means we will not be able to study, we will not be able to learn. As for math, we would not be able to solve math problems, which means buildings would not be able to be built because that requires architect. An architect is all math, shapes, diameters, ratio, radius, numbers, that's all math. And without that, we would not have a building to live in because it wouldn't be built. As for being able to feel temperature, pain, all that good stuff, without being able to feel pain, we would not be able to know that we're injured. So if we were to accidentally cut ourselves or break our arm, we wouldn't know. The reason why we do know that we hurt ourselves is because it hurts. We feel the pain, and without the pain, we would not be able to seek help because we wouldn't know. As for temperature, how that works is, how when you're freezing cold and you go grab a blanket, that's our brain alerting us like, hey, I'm cold, warm me up, which is why you warm yourself up. Or when you see yourself get goosebumps on your arms, that's your body's natural way of trying to warm itself up from the coldness. Next, we have the occipital lobe, which is located at the back of the brain, right at the base of the skull. This is what allows us to see. According to Cleveland Clinic, it allows us to see colors, form, shapes, motion, and without this, we would not be able to see this beautiful, amazing earth and nature. And this is important because without it, we would be blind, as well as if it was damaged, we would also be blind. We would not be able to see, or we could partially see, as well as maybe we just only see black and white, because if it's damaged, then we won't see color, or we won't be able to recognize form, shapes. Have you ever wondered why people are blind or born blind? Well, I will tell you why. People are blind because either when they were born, the occipital lobe was damaged, or they damaged it in a injury, like a car accident, for example. If that's damaged, then that's what causes them to be blind. lastly, we have the temporal lobe, which is on the side of the brain. And according to simple psychology, this lobe is what gives us the ability to remember, to have memory, as well as processing language. This is important because we will not be able to remember stuff. Memory has three memory processing: retrieval, encoding, and storage. Encoding is getting the information. Storage is like a hard drive. It saves the information that you learn and that you receive, and it locks it in, and it stays there forever. And retrieval is taking information out of the storage, that way you can remember. For example, you're taking a test and you studied. Your brain, all the stuff that you studied for the test is in your storage. And when you take the test, the retrieval part is taken out of the storage and is bringing it to you. So just keep in mind that the brain is a very, very important organ, and you should always take care of it, because without it, we would not be able to function.